my thing that I wanted to share with you is, first of all, I wanted to share a little bit about the trip and what it is about and who it is for and what we're going to be doing. And then I wanted to answer some questions, and thankfully I already have some questions that have come in because I do go live once a week in a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, that's called Tell Me About Italy. And anybody is welcome to join that group, no matter if you're interested in coming to Italy or you just love Italy, and you can't come, you are more than welcome to. We keep it private just because this way we can actually regulate a little bit who's in the group, so we're not having spammers come in and trying to sell their wares and so on. So that's the only reason for that. But you will find the links if you just type Tell Me About Italy into Facebook. On the search bar, the group will pop up and you can ask to join that group and join and be part of that. So I try to go live once a week and we post questions, comments, and the itinerary, always the latest itinerary is there, and any updates. And there's about some of the members in that group have already booked. So they're kind of sharing ideas, and they've started a Duolingo, learning Italian together, and those kinds of fun things. So I have a feeling that this group of people is going to be really good friends before even before the trip starts next year. So, and that is why we're here, because 1 year from tomorrow is when we're all going to be meeting in Milan, Italy, and it's so exciting. So the trip, like I said, starts in Milan and it ends in Rome. So it does not start or end in the United States or any other country. The reason for why we're doing this is because we do have people flying in from multiple different states. We have people flying in from Florida, from Tennessee, from New York, from Arizona, from South Carolina, from North, it's impossible to start at one starting point. So this is why one of the reasons why we're just saying, let's just start in Italy. And the other reason for that is so that people can actually extend and do additional days in either Rome or Milan, or tag on a couple of days in Venice, or go to Paris or London, or whatever it is that you want to do in either Europe or a different state in the United States, if this is where you're flying in from. So that's trying to make it as flexible as possible. The other thing that I have tried to build into this itinerary is to maximize your time away and minimize the time that you have to take off. So I purposely built it such that it would start on a Friday so that you would have that entire weekend going forward, and then the full week and the full weekend, and then the trip ends on Monday, so that you don't have to feel like you have to take 2 entire weeks off. So basically you can do this with 7 to 8 days of vacation days, not including Saturdays and Sundays, obviously. So that was my plan for doing all of this way. So I hope that's going to work for everybody. And the other thing that I've built into the trip is the reason when people are asking, why are we starting up in Milan and why are we ending in Rome? I felt like we wanted to try to see as much as possible without doing a big loop. Now, 2 reasons for starting up in Milan. Well, the big reason is because we're doing this in the fall. So I want to capitalize on the warmer weather. So the warmer weather is going to end quicker up in the northern part of the country. So we're starting in Milan in September. By the time October rolls around, we'll be down in Rome, which is quite a bit further south. So it's going to be a little bit warmer. So hopefully our temperature differences will not be so dramatic. If we did this in the spring, who knows? Maybe we'll do another one another year in the spring. Then I'll probably flip it around, because this is the way that I would like to see it all done. So I put a little bit of thought into things like this. And the reason I've done that is because I have done these trips before. I used to work as a tour guide in Italy when we were living there for 8.5 years. So my family, our two girls are born in Italy. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and I used to work as a tour guide in continental Europe and England and Scotland as well when I went to college. So that was kind of my starting point for that. So when we were in Italy and I'd had my babies and stepped off work in Italy, I got in touch with people who wanted to come to Tuscany because that's where we lived. And so that's why we were doing all of those things. And so I helped plan a tour that has got a lot of the touch points that we have right now, different variations of it throughout the years. It ran successfully for 6 or 7 years, even after we moved away from Italy. The company that was using that tour that I created it for, we're still running that same tour. So yeah, so I kind of know a little bit about where we're going. And I speak Italian, and this is why, one of the big reasons why you are booking this with me, because doing this, I've done all the legwork. I'm planning to save you all the time and effort because you are now not going to have to spend time at the travel agency or research hotels, locations. How do you get from A to Z? How do you get from Milan to Florence or to Rome or whatever, because I've taken care of that. And so you don't have to worry about it. I know that it's going to flow just very, very well because we will have a coach at our disposal for the duration of the trip. So the times that we're staying in hotels, the coach will be resting or going with us on excursions. And then when we travel from north to south, then the coach will be there. So it's a really great situation to do that. You don't have to think about the activities either if you don't want to, because I have planned day tours that are optional. So if this is your bucket list trip to Italy, then you're probably going to want to come on maybe even all of them. And that's absolutely okay. And I will add the detailed information about the tours. I've posted the highlights of the tours in our itinerary as well as on the website. So you can go in and have a look and see what they are right now. But I can't post the final details until we are closer to, because I can't get final pricing. I can't book a boat tour to the Cinque Terre at this point. I can't book a boat tour on Lake Como to Bellagio because I have to see how the schedules run for next summer, next fall. So there are lots of things in taking into consideration that's my job. And I'm not doing this by myself. Absolutely not, because I am not a travel agent. I do not have the travel agent licensure, but I have worked in travel agencies. But anyway, so I'm working with an incoming tour operator in Italy who is underwriting this whole thing. And so they have all the licenses, they have everything, and they're dealing in the local currency, which is euro in Italy. And so I'm the middleman in between here. So they are the ones that are responsible for booking the hotels. And we chat recurringly. The person I'm dealing with, his name is Paolo, and he is amazing. He's been doing this for years and years. He sits in Naples, Bella Napoli. And so we talk and we message with each other recurringly. And he's the one that's been able to secure some absolutely fantastic accommodations for us. So what I'm saying is we are already booking, we're already looking at securing hotels, because the sooner we can do that, the better it is. And that is one of the reasons, actually, it's really the main reason for why we are collecting a deposit as early as we are doing right now, because money talks, as you can imagine. So this money is going to go to Italy. so that we can secure the deposits for the hotels that we need to. So he's gotten us some amazing hotels, which are just exciting. And I'm really, really happy about that. And so we are in Rome and Milan. We are literally right in the historical district. So in Milan, we are literally right behind the big Duomo, the big cathedral in Milan, which is amazing. So literally you walk out the door and you look to the right and there it is, the backside of the cathedral. So you just need to walk around and we're right there with the piazza and right there with the Galleria, which is the shopping center. And you walk through it and you're at La Scala, the opera, the classical historical opera house. So it is just absolutely amazing. And the similar thing with our hotel in Rome, we are smack in the historic district of Rome as well, which is so amazing. And you step out of the hotel and you walk for 10 minutes in one direction and you arrive at the Spanish Steps. And you take a 10-minute walk in the other direction and you're at the Trevi Fountain. Continue for another 5 minutes and you get to the Pantheon and Piazza Navone. And there's just so many things that you can see and do if you want to extend your trip or take advantage of the time that we have in these places. So what I'm trying to do is provide you with my expertise, not just with the booking beforehand, but also with language support, because I do speak Italian. And while Italians, usually in hotels and places like that, and restaurants in tourist areas, like, in Florence and more international places, they will speak English, but they are certainly in things that you might find helpful or that I can navigate with in Italian, because the Italians tend to not speak English so super well. So, it's just, I would feel that it would be peace of mind if I traveled to a country that I don't know the language and there was somebody right by my side, doing the tour that has lived there and that speaks the language. So that is my my happy place. And so that's the other thing is, and I'm wanting to take you to see some authentic experiences. So I'm taking you to my favorite places and I'm researching them in a different way than perhaps a tour guide who has not lived and worked in Italy. Like, I know where to go and I know how to drive and I know how to set up and I know exactly which winery to go to. And I'm trying to see if we can go to my favorite chocolate place as we're on our way from the winery and things like that. Those are things I will work on behind the scenes, and you will not even have heard of that chocolate place because you don't, unless you live there and unless you do what I have done. So I'm wanting to take you to some authentic experience. For example, when we are in Rome, I'm not going to take you to the Sistine Chapel and the Basilica, although I highly recommend it, but because you can book a trip like that and a tour like that on your own. The tour that you may not be so quick to book is to actually go see the catacombs. And that's an amazing experience in and of itself. And it is down the historic, one of the most historic roads. It's called Via Appia, the Appian Way, and it's like the oldest, most historic road in the Roman Empire. So it's like 2,000 plus years old. And so not only are we going to go to the catacombs, but we're going to go to a restaurant that is nearby there that I know that I want to visit because I'm in love with their tiramisu. I'm just flat out, this is a different Paolo. His tiramisu is amazing. So I want to share these experiences with you. And I'm like, I have this pizza place in Assisi that I'm just dying to go back to. So I'm going to take anybody who wants to come with me. We'll go and have pizza that night. So it's those kinds of things. And because I've been there, done that, hopefully I'm able to advise you on some of the trips that you might want to do yourself. So basically, dialing it down, going back to what I was saying, is I was saying that I am creating a base tour that has some free time. in different places that we're at. And from that base tour, I'm filling in the blanks where we have free time for those of us who want to explore more. So those are the times that we're adding day tours to our trip. So, but we're always staying in great places, beautiful, either seaside resorts, wineries, hilltop hotels, smack dab in the historic centers of amazing cities. So you have a choice, even if you're staying behind, if you're taking a relaxed day, you have an amazing choice of doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, and however you want to do it. So that is my big plan, is to create flexibility in the tour, take you off the beaten path a little bit so that you know that you've really gotten an authentic experience. And for those of you who have traveled a lot before, you probably know what you want to shop if you want to shop at all. But what you won't be doing is you won't necessarily be creating your own memories, would be, to take home with you. So coming with me, we're actually going to do the other part of my passion, which is painting. So we are going to have some fun, casual paint and sip type experiences with me, that I'm including 3 of them in the trip already. And then I'm adding a 4th one that I'm planning to do in Bellagio in Lake Como. For those of you who come with me, I will include that in that day tour at the time. So yeah, so we are going to do that. And that is a very, very casual experience. This is not something that you have to stress about, you have to plan for. This is as if you were going to a paint and sip party. Then you're just doing it with me in Italy, and you'll be going home with some amazing memories from Italy that you have created on site. That is pretty cool. So I will take care of all the supplies, everything, and you just show up and do your paint and your sip. If it's a cappuccino, benissimo. If it's a glass of Chianti, benissimo anche questo. Anything goes, you do you. And I've already had questions from people who are maybe not interested in painting, and you can still come on this trip. This is not dedicated to established artists only or anything like that. This is a trip that, you bring your partner, you bring your friend, or you come and you decide that I'm just going to hang out and enjoy my glass of wine and chit chat with everybody while they're painting. Or you might want to go for a walk, or you might go and do something completely different. That is entirely up to you. I will never force anybody to do anything like that. I hope you would try it, but if it's not your cup of tea, then absolutely, totally okay with that. But I'm in it for creating memorable experiences, and that is in community with each other. So if it's with painting or without painting, everything is totally fine with that. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say about why I think this is a great trip. So it's a 10-night trip starting in Milan. The bullet points are: we start in Milan, we end in Rome. We do 2 nights at each location in each hotel, with 2 exceptions. The exceptions are that we want to stay 3 nights in Chianti at our villa, our 19th century villa that's been converted into a winery. And as a consequence, we are only going to be staying 1 night in Assisi, which is sort of halfway between Chianti in Tuscany and Rome down south. So I know firsthand, because again, I've done this, and I know how I like to travel. I like to unpack my suitcase just even a little bit and know that I've got 2 nights in one place. It makes me feel so much more comfortable. The accommodations that we have are all going to be 4 stars, and they are all going to include breakfast. And so the breakfast that is included is at minimum continental breakfast, but most of these hotels have a slightly bigger breakfast, and don't forget the cappuccinos in the morning, folks. Even if you don't drink coffee, you'll be a coffee drinker after this trip. I don't drink coffee. I'm gonna have a cappuccino every single morning. Thank you very much. Yes, so even if it is not a full buffet everywhere, then it will be hopefully substantial. The Italians are not big on breakfast. They like to have a big dinner instead. So something to think about. But you know, we are in tourist area. Oh, I mean, not tourist area, but we're in hotels. So the hotels know how to cater to international travelers as well. So yes, so all of that, the accommodations, the breakfast, my services, all the traveling to inside, excuse me, all the traveling inside Italy on coach. All of that is included. I have also included, we're going to start with an aperitivo in Milan. And so I'm including that into the trip. I'm also including a farewell. We're going to finish the way we started in Rome the last night in Rome. We're going to have an aperitivo there too. And so those I am including. I am also including a walking tour in Lucca with me. It's going to be an abbreviated walk tour, but I want to take you from, because you have to stop these coaches, these buses, they can't come inside. So that we are going to be walking together, and I will take you up and down the winding roads into the smack center of Lucca, which is beautiful shopping, beautiful lunch opportunities, amazing, gorgeous medieval town that was never bombed in either one of the world wars, which is so great. So we have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity there. So I'm including that, which you would pay extra for if you went with another tour guide for sure. And I'm also including a wine tasting dinner at a vineyard that I absolutely love what they do. It's an unusual vineyard. Again, you kind of have to know about it. They have grown tremendously with, they take a lot of bus tours to it. But I've known them for years and years, and they just are amazing. And they usually have a really good rustic Italian food that we can try all the fun Tuscan specialties that you want to try. And this is like at the start of when we kind of come into Tuscany. So that's all included as well. And if you are interested and you are going to be booking right now, then you will be also getting a very special treat. We are going to do a full day tour from our hotel or on our villa in Chianti into Florence. And that is a tour with a local tour guide, not with me. I'm coming with you. Yes, I'm there. But the local tour guide is going to walk us through. It's a walking tour in Florence and walk us to the different sites. And we're also going to have entrances to three different museums. One of them is the Uffizi, which is the most famous art gallery in Florence. And it's not just an art gallery, but it's the whole building and the whole layout of it is amazing, because it was the offices of, that's why it's called the Uffizi. It was the offices of the Medici family, who were the bankers who actually invented the banking system that we use in the Western world today. So that whole is absolutely amazing. That's going to be a full day tour. And if you book it right now, if you have booked it before September, that's a different story. If you're watching this and you've already booked it, good to go. If you're booking it now in September, you are going to only pay $50 for this full day tour, which is, when I looked it up on Google, other people charge $200 at minimum for something like this. So all of this is included for you. You only pay $50 when it comes time to pay for the excursions. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And the other thing that is going to be the case is because we're coming up to the 1 year mark tonight, I'm going to need to do money transfers over to Paolo in Italy so that he can secure the hotels and the villa in Chianti and the hotel in Viareggio and in Assisi that we want, he can start securing the rooms for those because, like I said, money talks. So we are now at the year mark and these guys are going, okay, we're going to start selling these rooms. And because we're having a group of upwards closer to 30 people, anything between 25 and 30 people on this trip, is what we're aiming for. Maybe not 30. We might want to have an empty seat in the coach or two. Just, it's always useful, but around that and it's more than half full. This trip is more than half full, folks. So you are going to want to not sit too long on your decision. So what is going to happen is we are taking a deposit of only $270 right now. And if you pay that deposit still today, you're effectively saving $200 off of your trip, because as of tomorrow, the base tour price for this trip is going to increase with $200. So by you paying that price today, you are saving $200. You're paying $270, you're saving $200. And then you're paying the second deposit at the very end of September together with everybody who's already also booked. And then either or both of these deposits, you have the option before the end of November this year, you have the option to cancel for whatever reason, for any reason, and I will pay you 50% back of your deposit. Okay? So that is an amazing guarantee. So it means that you're really not out anything today, if you book it right now, because you'll be saving $200 off of the base price of the trip. You're paying $270. Should you decide to cancel, you're going to get $135 back of that. So this is as best of an offer as I can possibly do. And the reason we're having to increase the price is if we do not sell this trip out right now, then the remaining rooms that we're going to need to add on to the trip are going to be at a higher price. So that is why the tour is actually increasing in price. So that's why I'm wanting everybody to book right now. So you get the $200 discount. And that discount will be taken off of your first payment when you pay. This is paid in installments. The first installments is due at the end of November. That's a 30%, or like a third of it. And then the second third is due at the end of January. And then the third one and last one is due at the end of March 2025. And so that is the plan. That's the payment plan. So you have time to secure your funds and build up the travel budget into this. And that is really all I have to say right now. Make sure that you go to the booking site, read it through. You can message me at camilla@createwithcamilla.art. Or you can reach me through any of my social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And feel free to ask questions. Make sure to join our Facebook group, Tell Me About Italy, so that you can be part of that group as well. And then you can continue to get updated. You can continue to ask your questions and continue to be part of a bigger community of people who are A, either coming to Italy, or B, interested in Italy in general. And if you're watching this and you've already booked, you know that you have a special bonus if you refer a friend to book this trip. Then you get for each friend that is booking this trip that you're referring, your price of the trip you'll have a $50 discount for every person that books based upon your recommendation. So that can add up too. And I will make note of that. And I'm going to ask you just to email me when you refer a friend, just so I know when they book that you're going to be getting a discount code when you pay your first installment at the end of November. And then that will be $50 or even more less for you as a consequence of that. All right. Well, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in Italy and see you on the other side. I really do hope that you take this opportunity today and secure your ticket at an amazing price. The itinerary and everything is on the website. I will post those links. You will have them anywhere you signed up or you found the Zoom call. I will add that information onto it. It's actually bit.ly. Let me just put it in, see if I can put it in the chat. Bit.ly, tell me about Italy. Okay. And that is all that we have. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, everybody.